The old saying, there's two things certain in life, death and taxes. Well, if you're a business owner, there's one more, and that is you will at some point exit your business. I'm Brent Freeman, and this is the CBB Group. In this video and the one to follow, we're going to take a deeper dive into exit planning. We'll cover exit goals, actually how you put them together, and think about what you want out of your business. We'll talk about business owners' financial and mental readiness to exit, as well as covering the top 5 or 6 different exit strategies and exit plans. Now, each one of those strategies comes with a different valuation attached and a different set of outcomes for you as a business owner. So if you're looking to exit your business or starting that planning process in the next 3 to 5 years, stick around. I think you'll find this episode and the one to follow helpful. Establishing exit goals really starts with a lot of introspection by a business owner. And we really encourage everyone to sit down and prepare a written set of exit goals. Now, the things that we usually see when talking with business owners is maybe maximizing the value upon exit, which for businesses with values under $1 million, that's primarily what we see. You may be a business owner that loves working on a daily basis, and you really don't want to give up going to the office and making things happen. You just really enjoy it. And we get that. So maybe continuing to run the business, but taking a few chips off the table, as they like to say. And there are exit strategies that can help you accomplish that. Leave a legacy to the family, which would be maybe gifting parts of the business over a period of time to family members. Pay as little taxes as possible, which everybody wants to do that. But there are a few exit strategies that will help you accomplish that. Keep control of the business as long as possible, but diversify. And you enjoy running the business, but again, kind of like taking a few chips off the table, you'd like to be able to do that, as well as set up for an exit further down the line. And then lastly, what we see is passing it on to employees. And that can be done through a couple different exit strategies as well. So again, exit strategy and goals, prepare a written statement, and then really spend some time thinking about what you want to accomplish in an exit. So once you've got your goals put in place, then let's consider some basic exit options. And they're really divided into 2 groups: external, selling to an external party, or internal or family sales. Let's start with the external sales, and that could be the sale of the business to another a financial party or synergistic buyer. It could also be the recapitalization of your business, whereby you stay in the business for a period of time, but you're going to sell a majority of the shares to a private equity group or family office, and they'll bring some extra expertise to the table to help you manage and grow the business. On an internal basis, you're looking at things like an employee stock ownership program or an ESOP, a management buyout, and then finally gifting over a period of time to family members and or a charity. So the next segment really talks about a business owner's readiness to exit, both on a financial level and a mental level. Now we put this chart together, these 4 boxes, to really represent not only the different readiness factors, both on a mental and a financial basis. But as you'll see later on, we'll use this boxes to really fill in kind of the different exit strategies that go along with your readiness to exit. So let's start at the upper right hand corner, and that's really for somebody who's financially set, ready to retire, and the sale of the business is really just the icing on the cake. So they're ready to go, and you'll find that as we go through this process, they've got the most options available to them when choosing an exit strategy. The second one is the box to the left, and that's really somebody, again, who's financially ready to retire, doesn't need the sale of the business or maybe just part of the proceeds to do so, but really likes working and enjoys their business, and it's a little bit of who they are, not what they do. And in this box, you get business owners that would like to stay on for 3 or 4 years and exit the business more on a gradual basis than all at once. The next segment, or next box really, is stay and grow, and that's the one directly under well off but choose to work. And that really is somebody that's both mentally and financially not able to really retire. Now there are a couple options, and we'll go through them with you and review those options. For somebody that may want to take a few chips off the table and stay with the business over a period of time so they can grow it to a point where they can sell the business and take the maximum amount of proceeds off the table at that time. And then there's the box to the far low right, which is really around get me out at the highest price. And unfortunately, we run into these buyers where they're tired, they've been working at it for a long time, and they may or may not be able to financially set, even with the sale of the business, to retire, but they've just put in all they can give to the business and they are ready to go. So when addressing mental readiness, a couple things you might want to talk about or think about, which is how involved are you in the day-to-day operations? Again, this comes down to, are you working in the business or on the business? Is the business what you do, or is the business you? And so those are some important things to think about. And then can you think about exit planning and the process clearly and objectively? So that is a question that most business owners that are in 3 or 4 of the boxes can think about, because they've got choices and they've got time. But when you're in that bottom right-hand box where you're just tired and ready to go, sometimes you don't think clearly and objectively. So again, taking a look at this 4 boxes, it starts to set the basis for then layering in our next segment, the 4 different types of opportunities to retire or exit your business. In this segment, we're going to talk about valuations and how different types of valuations relate to different exit strategies, and why you need to understand not only the 3 basic valuation methodologies, but how they apply to those different exit plan strategies. So let's review the 3. There is a synergistic value, which is the highest value that a business would get. An investment strategy, which is pretty much middle of the 3 strategies, and then a fair market value valuation. So, investment. An investment value is in a value that an outside investor would pay for a business, looking at its management team, revenue, gross margins, and history of the business. And for the purpose of this example, let's say that value is $1.1 million. The next value is a synergistic value. So For that same business that's valued at 1.1, the value that a synergistic company might pay for that business could be higher than the investment value. Obviously, they could do away with some level of management. Maybe there's accounting and other functions in your business that could be eliminated, thus putting more cash flow to the bottom line and making the value of the business greater. And then lastly, there's fair market value. Now, fair market value is defined for valuators, i.e. certified individuals that do valuations, and they meet the IRS regs 5960, all of the criteria that's laid out for a valuation. The important thing here with this valuation is that most of the time it is a little bit less than investment value, not all the time, but most of the time. And that if you are valuing a minority interest in the company for a gift planning processes, if you're gifting as far as estate planning, for an ESOP where you're selling, say, a minority shares of the business to your employees in a stock plan, they carry what's called a discount for lack of marketability and a discount for lack of control. And that can greatly affect the value of the shares that you're selling, which could be a tax break in you could be trying to gift those shares to your heirs or to a charity or something of that nature, but it will yield you obviously lower proceeds than either investment or a synergistic company valuation. And in this segment, we're going to address the different exit strategies and the values. Remember, we talked about investment, synergistic, or fair market value. So let's start with the sale of the business outright in the marketplace, where you hire an investment banker, a merger and acquisition advisor, or a business broker to sell your business as part of your exit strategy. You're going to get 1 to 2 different types of valuations. The first one would be as an investment value, which is probably what you should count on, and the second could be a synergistic value. So those first, from highest to kind of mid-level. The second one that you want to take a look at is what we call a private equity recapitalization. And that usually draws what's called an investment value. So a private equity recapitalization is where the business owner may stay in the business and run it, selling 80% of the business to an outside private equity group, and you can be able to take some chips off the table. They'll probably work at an investment level as far as evaluation. Now let's move into employee stock ownership plans, or what's called an ESOP. So in an ESOP, you're selling a portion of the shares of your business to the employee stock ownership plan. And think of it as an IRA or a retirement plan for the employees. With that comes a valuation of fair market. So, for instance, if you sold 30% of the company to the ESOP, there would be an evaluation done to meet tax code qualifications, and there would be a discount for lack of marketability and lack of saleability. So you could see that there's going to be less funds coming to you for those 30 shares. But the advantage here is that you'll stay in control running the day-to-day operations. And this strategy, as long as you don't sell any more than 50% of the business to the ESOP, you're able to sell that business in its entirety when you are ready to retire and exit the business. Management buyouts. So that's usually a investment level valuation or a fair market valuation. Remember, you're going to be selling the shares of your company to your management team, and they're not going to want to pay you more than fair market or investment value. So it's kind of a little bit of a delicate dance when it comes to management buyouts. But count on an investment valuation. It could be a fair market valuation of the company as well. And then finally, gifting. Now, gifting is where you're financially set, you're ready to go, you don't need to sell the business, but you'd like to move some of that the business and gift it to your family over a period of time. And this is where that fair market value with discounts will really help you drive down the taxability, the tax consequences on gifting the business. You'll be able to push more of the business over a period of time to your heirs, i.e. they're valued less in dollars, so you're able to maximize the amount of shares that you transfer over to your family members and or charity, however you want to put it together. In this segment, we want to combine basically everything that we've covered in this first episode in summary. And it's really a range of exit options. So again, you've got your financial readiness, low to high, going vertical on the left-hand side, and the mental readiness going on the horizontal side, left to right. We've then plugged in the different exit options that really accomplish or options for an individual to take a look at. So let's start in the top right-hand corner. And again, this is somebody that's well off, doesn't need to really sell the business to meet any of their financial goals in retirement, and is also highly motivated to sell. So you could look at gifting to family members, charity, an ESOP, or you could just sell the business outright to the highest investor. If you go to the left, you're again looking for somebody that's got a financial readiness to sell, i.e. they're well off. Whether this contributes to their retirement, it really doesn't make a difference for them financially, but they are not quite ready to exit the business. They'd like working and they'd like to stay in the business for a period. As you can see, you've got several options. You've got a management buyout, a gift, whether it be to employees or to family members or charity, and a stock option program for your employees. And then the bottom left corner being low financial readiness and low mental readiness, you really have a couple of options here. You can just keep the business and grow it, increase your savings over a period of time and drive the valuation higher. Or you might think about a private equity group doing a recapitalization, so you can take some of the chips off the table. An ESOP, where you can sell a portion of the business to a employee stock ownership plan, thereby taking some of your chips off the table, but still maintaining control of the business and running the business, as well as choosing when you want to exit the business in total. And then lastly, somebody that's just highly motivated to sell, but may not be financially ready. And that's really trying to drive a synergistic or investment price to maximize the profitability of the business. Well, I hope you found the information in episode 1 useful. We really talked about how to set an exit goal and understand what you'd like to take out of the business and do with the business upon exit. We've talked about the owner's mental and financial readiness to exit, and also explored the 5 basic exit options and the different valuations that accompany each one of those methodologies. In the next episode, we're going to take the 5 basic exit strategies and really go through the pros and cons of each so you have a better understanding of what exit strategy might work for you. So again, I hope you found this video useful, and we'll see you in the next episode.